The moon looked softer than usual tonight, round like a marshmallow and glowing with a creamy, golden shimmer. It floated lazily above the sleepy hilltops, where mist curled around the treetops like warm steam from a bedtime cocoa. Everything was hushed, like the whole world had tiptoed under a blanket, waiting for something magical. Nestled on a quiet hill, under a silver-leafed canopy, sat a round little bear named Tilly. Tilly wasn't just any bear, she was a marshmallow bear. Her fur was like toasted vanilla fluff, and when she blinked, her eyes made a sound like gentle bells. She lived in a small sugar-spun cottage with windows shaped like gumdrops and a porch light that glowed like warm caramel. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. Tilly had been waiting all day for the Marshmallow Moon Parade, the most soothing event in the whole Dreamland Valley. It only happened once every full marshmallow moon, when the clouds parted just enough and the stars hummed their lullaby. She sat on a velvet toadstool with a tiny parade map spread across her lap, the edges lined with glittering pink sugar threads. Around her, sleepy fireflies drifted like sparkles, each carrying teeny lanterns made of folded petals. In the distance, the soft sound of a dream drum echoed, thump, 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 as gentle as a heartbeat in a cozy bed. "Oh," Tilly whispered, hugging her woolly scarf close. "It's nearly time." From down the sleepy hill, her best friends were slowly waddling up. First came Pip, a fuzzy duckling with moon boots and a blanket cape. He held a cinnamon stick baton and kept yawning between waddles. Behind him bounced Luma, a tiny lavender cloud who giggled whenever she sneezed stardust. "Do you have the marshmallow float tickets?" Pip asked with a snuffly sniff. Tilly nodded, holding out 3 glimmering pastel tokens shaped like sleepy moons. As the breeze rustled the candy grass and the night deepened into dreamy blue, the trio sat together in a circle, waiting for the parade to roll through Dreamland Lane. Tonight, the parade was coming. And it was going to be the coziest, sweetest, most whisper-soft journey they'd ever had. Just as Tilly, Pip, and Luma finished their warm sips of lavender mint tea, the hush of the night shifted. It began with a soft shimmer in the air, like the stars above were brushing glitter onto the clouds. Then, a far-off jingle floated toward them. It was delicate, like wind chimes made of sleepy dreams. "Here they come," whispered Tilly, her marshmallow ears perking up. One by one, glowing floats emerged over the hilltop path, swaying gently in the night breeze. They were made from things you could only dream of, floating biscuit boats, taffy-wheeled trams, and a bubblegum balloon carriage that shimmered every color of the moon. Each one was softly lit with twinkling lanterns shaped like stars and moons, gently bobbing as the parade moved closer. The first float to pass was the Feather Puff Band, a group of sleepy owls dressed in tiny velvet coats, perched on instruments made of soft reeds and sleepy dreams. They played music that sounded like dandelions dancing through air. Every note made the fireflies glow a little brighter. "Oh," breathed Luma, floating slightly higher with joy. "They're playing the Twilight Waltz." Pip snuggled deeper into his blanket cape and closed his eyes for a moment, just letting the music settle over him like warm nighttime honey. The next float was made entirely of cloud pillows, the Dream Drifter's float. It glided silently, carrying creatures from every part of Dreamland. There was a snuggly squirrel wrapped in a star-patterned onesie, a mole wearing glasses and knitting with moonbeams, and a yawning dragon with a teacup balanced on his belly. Each one smiled sleepily and waved with tiny paws and claws. "Hi, Dream Drifters," Pip whispered, waving back. Tilly pointed to the biggest float yet. It was the Marshmallow Carousel, spinning ever so slowly. But instead of horses, it had sleeping kittens, snoozing puppies, and drowsy bunnies curled into crescent-shaped cushions. The gentle lullaby that drifted from it made Luma giggle and sneeze again, and a tiny star popped out of her nose. "Oh no," she said, floating after it slowly. That one was especially twinkly. As they watched the parade go by, the friends gently followed it down the path toward Rainbow Hollow, where the grand finale would take place. The candy grass under their feet shimmered softly, and glowing moths flitted through the air like flying pearls. A little farther along the trail, they passed by the sleepy cocoa cart. A raccoon in a red bow tie and cozy socks served warm, melty cups of cocoa from a kettle that sang lullabies with every pour. "1 cup of Star Whisper cocoa, please," said Tilly. "3 marshmallows or 5?" asked the raccoon kindly. "Just 1," she said with a smile. "We don't want to wake up from this dream too soon." The 3 friends sat at a soft mushroom bench, sipping their cocoa slowly. It tasted like the best dream ever, sweet, gentle, and sleepy. As they sipped, the parade passed the glowbug lantern dancers, a troupe of dancing hedgehogs carrying swirly paper lanterns with sleepy faces painted on them. Their dance was slow and dreamy, like petals drifting in the wind. The lanterns made soft little sighs every time they twirled. The friends followed the parade quietly now, their steps growing slower, softer, like the night was gently rocking them side to side. Up ahead, the path curved toward the edge of a magical grove where moon mist floated above the ground like soft fog, and sparkly fireflies hummed a lullaby in gentle harmony. Tilly looked to her friends. "We're almost there. To the place where the marshmallow moon always gives its dreamlight blessing." And then, Pip murmured with a yawn, "Our wishes float up like sleepy bubbles," Luma blinked slowly. "And land in the stars." The air around them filled with marshmallow-sweet stillness. The parade continued, twinkling and glowing like a lullaby come to life, leading them deeper into the dreamiest part of dreamland. And the marshmallow moon, still high above, was just beginning to glow even brighter, like it was saving something truly magical for the end. The softest part of the path was just ahead, a twinkling trail lined with sugar crystal stepping stones and glowing cattails that whispered lullabies when the wind passed by. Tilly took one slow step onto the dreamstone trail, her marshmallow paws sinking ever so slightly into the squishy glow beneath her. Pip waddled beside her, his blanket cape brushing the edges of the path like a sleepy feather. Luma floated just above them, swirling gently with the breeze, her glow blending with the stars above. As they followed the final floats into the glow-petal grove, the air seemed warmer, as if the night itself was tucking them in. The trees here were tall and silver, with weeping branches made of glimmer leaves that rustled like gentle snores. Every leaf that fell sparkled and vanished before it hit the ground, like a wish someone else had already made. The parade had begun to slow, the music became more hush-hush, like a lullaby hummed from a rocking chair in a far-off cottage. Up ahead, nestled right in the center of the grove, was the dream nest, a pillowy platform woven from cloud vines and draped in moonlight threads. This was where the marshmallow moon's blessing would take place, the softest, most magical moment of the night. All the creatures of the parade gathered around the nest, yawning and stretching and snuggling into their cozy spots. Tilly and her friends found a perfect little nook just beside a mossy log shaped like a curled-up dragon. It puffed a sleepy sigh as they settled next to it. From above, the moon dimmed just a little, not darker, but softer. Like it had pulled a sheer curtain of dreams across its face. Then, gently and slowly, it began to send sparkles down, long threads of shimmering silver that drifted like sleepy snowflakes. Each one was a dreamlight feather, a gift from the marshmallow moon, and as they landed on noses and paws and fur and feathers, they melted into wishes. One landed on Tilly's nose. She closed her eyes. "One soft wish," she whispered, "for comfort and quiet for every little creature." One landed on Pip's foot. "I wish everyone has warm socks," he mumbled. And one landed right on Luma's head. She giggled sleepily. "I wish for more sleepy giggles." Each wish shimmered once, then rose like steam from cocoa and drifted upward, all the way to the moon, which now smiled fully, beaming with gentle pride. Then came the hush, the deep, gentle hush that wrapped around every creature in the grove like a thick, soft blanket. The hush was always the last part of the parade, a stillness so cozy, so perfect, that it made everyone snuggle closer, blink slower, and breathe just a little deeper. A tiny voice, perhaps from the sleepiest hedgehog or a napping kitten, whispered, "Thank you, Moon." And somewhere in the sky, a shimmer blinked in reply. In that moment, nothing else mattered. No noise. No hurry. No tomorrow. Just the soft swaying of the last lanterns, the hum of sleepy hearts, and the dreamlight settling over dreamland like snowfall made of stars. Tilly curled into her scarf. Pip rested his head on a fluff of moss. Luma floated down and tucked herself under Tilly's arm like a little glow pebble. And together, in the stillness, they waited for the very last float, the one that never made a sound, but always left the most peaceful hush in its wake. The final feather float. It came only when every other creature had grown still, when every wish had risen, and when the night was ready to turn into dreams. It was almost here. And it always carried one final surprise. The final feather float was unlike any of the others. It didn't roll or rattle or sparkle wildly, it glided, like a snowflake on a sleepy breeze, soft and silent and sweet. It had no wheels, no ropes, no big balloons or bright banners. Instead, it floated on marshmallow mist, with sides made of woven night breeze, and a little bell that chimed once every now and then, not too loud, just enough to remind everyone it was still drifting closer. Tilly's eyes were already drooping. Pip had curled into a ball beside her, his soft snores keeping rhythm with the lullaby breeze that drifted through the glow-petal grove. Luma's glow was dim now, pulsing like a heartbeat, slow, calm, resting. As the final feather float approached, it left a trail of sleepy dust in the air behind it, golden glimmers that gently swirled down like sleepy sparkles, kissing the tops of flowers and closing their petals, brushing over mossy stones and making them hum softly with dreams. All the creatures around the dream nest knew to stay still now. This was the most important part of the parade, the passing of the night's last yawn. On the float sat one creature, so fluffy and slow-moving it almost looked like a pillow with ears. It was Ollie, the drowsy owl of Whispering Hill. Ollie wasn't just any owl, he was the keeper of the final yawn, and his job was to make sure that every last flutter, fidget, and whisper in dreamland settled down into perfect, peaceful stillness. He blinked one big, cozy eye. Then the other. Then, he yawned. But this yawn wasn't like a regular yawn. It was a magical yawn, one that rippled through the entire forest. It stretched the shadows longer and made the stars blink a little slower. Trees gently leaned into each other like friends nodding off. Even the moon dipped slightly, tucking itself behind a soft cloud like it, too, was ready to rest. Tilly felt the yawn float over her. Her toes tingled. Her ears twitched. Her breath got slower. Her heart felt warmer. She blinked, once, twice, then let her eyes rest. The parade wasn't loud anymore. It was like a dream now, one that faded gently with each second. The feather float passed by like a breeze brushing your cheek just as you're about to fall asleep. Then Ollie's float reached the very center of the dream nest, and stopped. All the creatures knew what came next. One by one, the lights from the parade floats dimmed. The glitter lanterns faded to a soft, warm twinkle. The cotton candy clouds drifted lower, gently hugging the tops of sleeping creatures. The lullaby music slowed to nothing more than a hum, a quiet, invisible song in everyone's ears. And from high above, the marshmallow moon winked. Just once. That was the signal. Luma, still tucked under Tilly's arm, let out a tiny yawn of her own, a sparkle escaping from her mouth like a firefly. Pip mumbled in his sleep, M&M. Marshmallow pancakes, Tilly smiled, her body soft and still, as the magic of the night settled around her. And Ollie, the gentle owl, gave one final blink, and pulled a soft silver blanket over himself as the float gently lifted and disappeared into the stars. The Marshmallow Moon Parade had ended. But the dreams were just beginning. And all across the land, from the coziest dens to the tiniest tree houses, every creature slept deeper, warmer, softer than ever before. The glow of the marshmallow moon still shimmered gently in the sky like a soft nightlight, wrapping the world below in a blanket of moonlight cream. Down in the heart of the dream nest, Tilly and Pip lay nestled together, Luma curled between them like a tiny glowing heartbeat. Even though the parade was over, the magic hadn't ended, it had simply gotten quieter. It had curled up beside them, just like they had, gently humming lullabies into their dreams. All around them, the cozy creatures of the glade were settling into their sleep spots. Under the willow drapes, the pebble mice tucked themselves into hollow nutshell hammocks, gently rocking in time with the breeze. In the low branches, a row of gigglebirds snuggled under their patchwork leaf quilts, beaks tucked under wings, their feathers glowing faintly with leftover laughter. And by the sparkling puddle near the marshmallow mushrooms, the firefly frogs blinked sleepily in rhythm on, off, until their glow faded into slumber. Even the clouds above had grown sleepy. They had floated lower, now blanketing the treetops with cool misty comfort. One cloud gently scooped itself beneath a tall pine and gave it a kiss on the bark, whispering, "Good night, dear tree." Tilly's breath was slow now. Her chest rose and fell like a boat on a calm dream sea. She was still awake, but only just. The kind of in-between sleep where your thoughts feel like clouds and everything is soft and slow. "Pip," she whispered, not opening her eyes. "Mm," he mumbled, already half asleep, paws tucked under his chin. "Did you see the feather float?" Was floatin' with the marshmallows," he sighed into his fur, barely awake. Tilly smiled and hugged Luma closer to her chest. The tiny light creature snuggled in with a faint sparkle and a happy hum. Above them, something stirred softly. It was the nighttime quilt, a giant invisible blanket that drifted through dreamland each night, gently tucking everyone in. No one ever saw the whole quilt. It was too big, too magical, too quiet. But if you were lucky enough, and sleepy enough, you might feel it brush against your cheek, like the softest whisper from the stars. Tonight, the quilt hovered lower than usual. It shimmered like a bubble made of silken candlelight, swirling in shades of lavender, cream, and sleepy blue. It moved slowly through the glade, tucking in the squirrel pups and the bunny twins, wrapping the sleeping hedgehogs in tiny loops of warmth. And when it reached Tilly and Pip, it paused. As if it knew. As if it could tell just how cozy and full of dreams they already were. With the softest touch, it brushed over them, warm as a hug and cool as starlight. Tilly exhaled a long, slow sigh. Her thoughts were drifting now, she wasn't thinking about lanterns or floats or glowing creatures anymore. She was thinking about floating through clouds made of pillows, sliding down dream rainbows made of sherbet, and watching the stars paint sleepy poems across the sky. Far off in the distance, a soft chime rang out, one single note, like a lullaby saying, "Everything is okay." Luma, who had dimmed into a soft little speck, twitched gently. The glowing creature was dreaming too now, of moon puddles and fuzzy flowers, of flying through dandelion skies and bouncing on cloud beds with button-nosed bees. And the glade, the forest, the sky, all of it, had fallen into the quietest, softest silence. The only sounds left were the sighs of dreams being dreamed. The tiny rhythm of heartbeats resting. The slow, sleepy dance of imagination glowing like stars just behind the eyelids. The parade was long gone now. But the warmth it left behind still floated in the air like marshmallow mist, hugging the world with cozy dreams. And just like that, the final piece of the nighttime magic was gently in place. Everything was ready. For sleep. For the dreams. For the peace. For the stillness that comes when the night has finished tucking in every corner of the sky. The glade had become so quiet that it almost felt like the stars were holding their breath. Not from fear, not from surprise, but from peace. Every creature, every leaf, every whisper of wind had gone still, not because they were forced to, but because the night itself had gently asked them to rest. Somewhere between awake and asleep, Tilly's fingers were still curled gently around Luma, the glow creature now as dim and warm as a nightlight in a nursery. Pip, tucked under his fluffiest ear, gave the tiniest snore, a soft, funny little sound, like a bubble popping in a dream. The firefly lamps above had started to dim on their own, one by one, like polite little twinkles saying, "Sleep well, sleepy ones." Each flicker was a blink of bedtime magic, as if the night was whispering goodnight in 100 tiny languages only dreams could understand. And high above it all, the marshmallow moon itself began to change. Not disappear, oh no. But melt, slowly, softly, into a slow-falling mist of sleepy sugar dust, floating down from the sky like glitter made of sighs. It wasn't sticky. It didn't get in your eyes. Instead, it felt like invisible petals brushing your cheeks, cool and warm at the same time. As it drifted across the treetops, the candy-colored clouds above gently changed shape, now forming sleepy animals curled into balls, feathered wings folding over velvet fur. The moon's soft mist kissed the fur of snoozing foxes, tucked in the tails of dozing deer, and draped lullabies over the entire forest. Even the stars blinked slower, then slower still, until they too looked half asleep, watching from above with a sleepy smile. And in this moment, the last piece of the parade revealed itself. It wasn't a float. It wasn't a song. It was a quiet, secret thing. One that only came at the very end. The wish puff. It arrived with no sound. Just a shimmer in the air, a twinkle in the grass, and a gentle tug at Tilly's dreaming thoughts. A small glowing cloud, no bigger than a pillow, hovered beside her sleeping head. It swirled in colors she couldn't name, the kind you can only see with your eyes closed. And it whispered, not in words, but in feeling, make a wish. But only the kind of wish you'd dream with. Without waking, without even realizing, Tilly's sleepy heart made a wish. She wished for nothing big. Not toys. Not candy. She wished simply that everyone she loved would always have a safe, soft place to dream. And just like that, poof, the wish puff curled into a spiral, sparkled once, and disappeared into the stars above. Somewhere in the glade, the tiniest flower bloomed quietly in its sleep. Luma glowed one last flicker. The dream nest sighed. The clouds grew heavier. And the parade, that magical, marshmallow, moonlit parade, faded completely into the soft folds of the night. From the forest to the hilltops, from the glow stream to the marshmallow grove, the world was now blanketed in the gentlest, deepest sleep. Even the wind forgot to blow. The parade might return another night. Maybe next week. Maybe in a dream. But for now, it was over. And what remained wasn't noise, or color, or light. What remained was something far better. Stillness. Peace. Rest. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. The kind that wraps around you like a cozy blanket. The kind that carries you softly into sleep, where pillow clouds drift and moon bears hum lullabies and dream lanterns float beside you like friends. And maybe, just maybe, if you listen very closely, right now, you'll hear the final sound of the parade. Not music. Not fireworks. But a yawn. A gentle, cozy yawn. The kind that says, you did well today. Now sleep. So, let your head sink into your pillow. Let your eyelids get heavier and heavier. Let your dreams take you on their own parade. And remember, even when you wake, the marshmallow moon is still watching over you, smiling softly, waiting for the next sleepy night to come and carry you home again. Good night. Good night.